Good morning. My name's Mark Simister. I'm Head of Delivery Management for Sydney Water, and I want to thank you all for joining us on this bright and beautiful Sydney spring morning. I'm joined here by Emma Pryor and Xavier, and we're going to be taking you through a video that we've put together, as well as running through a bit of a Q&A. So Emma, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi folks, my name's Emma Pryor and I'm Head of Integrated Systems Planning.
Good morning, I'm Xavier Lecombs and Head of Supply Chain.
Okay, so we're going to be running a video, but also is going to be the opportunity for you to ask questions at any time as you're either listening to us now or watching the video. Now, as we're moving forwards with an RFP, we are into the position of probity now being in place. So, as typically happens with any of these procurement exercises, with probity being in place, we've got to watch how we're talking to and engaging with you. So the details of our probity advisors are now on the screen. So if you do have any questions about probity, please feel free to contact Jane or Simon on Procure Group, and they can help you with any questions that you have about probity. You can also send questions through the Supply Chain 2020 email address. So obviously we can't answer all your questions, so please do have some understanding with us. But we'll try and work with you as well as we can answering your Q&A today. So without any further ado, we're going to get through our video and then we'll come back to some live Q&A.
Hello, I'm Paul Plowman, General Manager of Livable City Solutions at Sydney Water. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're providing an update on our Supply Chain 2020 initiative. This initiative will see us roll out a new supply chain model that will deliver customer value and reduce the complexity in our supply chain that's built up over the years. As our Managing Director, Kevin Young, said back in March at our Supply Chain 2020 industry briefing, as our partners, you're as much a part of Sydney Water's team as the people we employ. You're all critical in helping ensure water's contribution in creating a livable, productive and sustainable Sydney. But we must keep our customers at the heart of everything we do. And to do that, we need to work together as true partners. We want to develop true partnerships where we're comfortable challenging each other and thinking differently to benefit our business, your business, and ultimately the community we serve. That's why the Supply Chain 2020 initiative is so important and why we asked you to help us find better ways of working together. This is at the heart of our new supply chain model. We want our entire supply chain to contribute to our efforts to be more responsive to the needs of Sydney Water's customers. To this end, today you'll hear from our new Head of Supply Chain, Xavier Lecombs, about our new preferred model. Mark Simister and Bernie Sheridan about what the new model will mean in practice, and Emma Pryor about our upcoming RFP for our new planning services partner.
During our industry briefing in March, we talked about our strong motivation and rationale for improving our supply chain model. We saw an opportunity to achieve additional value for our customers by simplifying our supply chain, by building better relationships with our suppliers, and by ensuring that they are working towards outcomes that our customers value. We've taken an enterprise-wide view across the asset lifecycle, and our new approach reflects this. In doing this, we are looking to improve innovation, to standardize our assets, and to ensure we manage costs across all stages of the asset lifecycle. All of this without compromising safety and environmental performance. We didn't do this in isolation. We engage you, our current partners, and the broader industry to help us on this journey. We hosted the Supply Chain 2020 industry briefing in March, and since then, we've continued seeking your inputs through Sydney Water Talk, as well as face-to-face meetings and workshops. Many of you will notice that our strategy has been shaped by your thoughts and ideas that you have so generously contributed. So let me take this moment to thank you on behalf of Sydney Water for your effort and contribution to date. This model is an evolution, not a revolution. It's about building deep relationship with the right number of suppliers. It's about creating a true partnership dynamic that fosters efficiency, flexibility, innovation, and much more. Doing business with Sydney Water will feel like a partnership and less like a transaction. Our preferred model has 4 key components. The first one is planning, to be delivered by a blended team of resource from Sydney Water and a planning partner. The second component is made of delivery consortia. Integrated regional delivery consortia will be responsible for design, construction and maintenance in specified geographical regions, working hand in glove with our existing teams. The model also includes an improved in-house capability in key areas such as delivery project management. The third component is governance and assurance. This will be led by Sydney Water and include investment portfolio and program management, as well as delivery assurance. Finally, the fourth component of the model is a shared purchasing function for specialist expertise across the value chain. Purchasing of required goods and services will be conducted through a directory of approved and preferred Sydney Water suppliers on agreed rates and terms and conditions. By pooling our purchasing, we will develop stronger relationships with our preferred suppliers. Many of them are small and specialized providers, and we will find opportunities to integrate them into our planning and across the value chain. Our new approach will provide you an opportunity to work much more closely with us to achieve better outcomes for our customers. This model is about partnership. You'll be working with us rather than transacting with us. Together, we will improve collaboration and integration across the asset lifecycle. Those successful partners will benefit from greater certainty of business, as well as visibility and influence over our program of work. Together, we will reduce business complexity, will be more innovative and efficient, and we will increase our focus on safety and culture. This model will also improve our governance and risk management, enabling more flexible resourcing and supplier integration.
The way in which Sydney Water has delivered its capital infrastructure has changed dramatically over the last several years. We're pushing innovative new ideas based upon international best practice into our market to deliver our capital infrastructure. And in doing so, Sydney Water is trying to lift its own maturity and that of the supply chain as well. Our success over the years has had tangible benefits. We're more efficient in our delivery, we have a greater health and safety focus, and our goals are more aligned to our customers. But we can still achieve more. This is about evolution, not revolution. We're looking for integrated teams to be brought together to deliver operational performance outcomes. We want teams that are focused on CapEx and OpEx baselines, TOTEX and whole life cost. We want highly integrated supply chain frameworks all working together. But above all, we're focused on partnering for success. Partnering that focuses on relationships, on customers and on safety. So what does this mean to you? The new model encourages greater integration across our supply chain, but not only with Sydney Water, but also with each other. The new model will aim to eliminate the barriers between planning, design, delivery, maintenance and operations by offering an integrated end-to-end management approach. The new model will assist with our operations and maintenance teams that are servicing the needs of our customers. This model will also allow for greater integration with our operations teams to ensure that the whole life cost of the asset is considered. We're moving away from the distant and separate transaction panel arrangements for planning and engineering by developing a fully integrated planning partner. Instead of having individual isolated contractors, we're having integrated delivery partners. Instead of having separate and distant maintenance contracts, it's about integrated delivery partners. But above all, the Sydney Water team will have members that are integrated and having shared leadership roles across that supply chain. Our commitment that safety will be our #1 priority will not change. Nothing is too urgent or too important for safety to be compromised. Our commitment to our customers, that won't change. And above all, the commitment to our staff will not change either. And our commitment to working with our supply chain, that won't change.
At Sydney Water, we really value the capability, knowledge and passion within our team, both employees and partners. You'd already know that we're Australia's largest water and wastewater service provider, but what you might not know is that we have some of the most satisfied customers in the business. That's thanks to you and the dedication each member of the team shows as we continue delivering great customer outcomes. We've made a commitment that will always provide rock-solid operating performance, and then in this new model, we'll have even more flexibility to do this. Our environment is changing. With so much growth and our customers' expectations rightly increasing, we need to change too. Part of this is by building the true partnership in our industry, and this new model will see our delivery, maintenance and operations partners working hand in glove with our talented in-house team. This new model builds better collaboration between all stages of our project life cycles, from early planning through to maintenance and operations. We're excited that we can work with you more closely. We rely on you, our partners and suppliers, to help us know how we can do things better, whether it's embracing new technology or using what we already have more effectively. At Sydney Water, our teams genuinely care about customers, and we provide exceptional customer service when we're dealing with them directly. What we've learned though is that there is always room for improvement, and I can see some great opportunities for Sydney Water in increasing network intelligence, giving our customers more choice around how and when we talk to them, and further exploring the benefits we're already realising through our various major programs like the Customer Hub and our work in production. We know that some of our partners have achieved great things in safety. We want to work together to make sure we're learning from others who are doing things well. To provide the top quality services our customers expect and deserve, we need to work as a team, limiting the number of handoffs through the asset life cycle and managing our assets in a more holistic way. This new model achieves that by fostering more of a team environment. It shouldn't matter what organisation we're working for, we're all part of the same team working for Sydney Water's customers. With this model, we can work together to find solutions that benefit our customers, the environment and the bottom line. If we can achieve this, then our success will be your success, and ultimately, our customers will be the winners. I believe it can be done, and I know we can do it together.
I'll be talking through the opportunities and challenges that Sydney Water currently faces in the planning function. Sydney Water undertakes planning in a resource-constrained environment that is characterised by ever-increasing complexity and uncertainty. During the planning stage of the asset management lifecycle, Sydney Water defines the service-related goals of our customers, regulators and the business, and organises our activities and investments to deliver these goals. In our new model, planning includes developing long-term product and asset strategies, master plans, system plans, asset level plans, 5-year investment plans, and feasibility and investigation studies, as well as early design. In the current state, planning is led by Sydney Water, with specialist services procured as required on a brief and respond basis for relatively small pieces of work. This leads to a significant level of procurement and management effort and reduces flexibility to respond to the often fast-changing demands of our planning function. In the new model, planning will remain separate from delivery, operations and maintenance functions to maintain the independence required to demonstrate the prudency of our chosen investments. But we'll need to incorporate expertise from across the value chain to define solutions, optimise investment strategies and candidate investments. As part of the governance and assurance frameworks of the model, the planning function will continue to provide investment portfolio management and oversight to ensure that the planned intent is maintained over the life cycle. In the future state, we envision Sydney Water and the planning partner working in integrated teams and improving the alignment of service planning with corporate strategy. This joined-up approach also aims to improve Sydney Water's planning workflow to reflect a more adaptive approach to achieve planning outcomes. The planning partner will have full visibility of our business planning needs and will be able to influence how we manage and resource, best resolving these needs within our available means. There will still be some need for project-specific brief and respond type work, but the vast majority of the work is intended to be delivered by integrated teams, working to leverage and optimise the collective capabilities of the partnership. This planning partner will be a single partner, formed from engagement with the market, that will bring capability in terms of leadership, culture, partnering, resources, tools, systems and process improvements, in addition to technical planning and engineering expertise. The skill sets required to meet the needs we have defined in a partner may mean potential suppliers need to arrange themselves into collectives of various kinds, and we would encourage you to consider that in your responses. Our partner will also need to be able to partner with others. Successfully working together with the delivery vehicle, when it comes on board, will be necessary to delivering the whole of lifecycle gains we see for our customers in this procurement model. We will be looking to see this ability to work closely together in ways that potentially share benefits and risks in our partner. Similarly, the proposed shared purchasing function will also provide expertise that will need to be made best use of along the value chain. The planning partner is not just about supplementing our capability. We are looking for a partner who is a technical and culture add to us. In this new model, we are aiming to build longer-term relationships than we have had before to create certainty for both partners. And on that note, I'll hand back to Mark for the introduction of the panel for the Q&A session.
Okay, so there you go, that's our video. Anyway, look, hopefully our model makes sense to you now, and we are here, Emma, Xavier and I, to answer some of your questions. Don't forget, for probity reasons, we're not going to be able to answer absolutely everything, but those that we can, we're going to share with you here, and everything else will be posted as Q&As on Sydney Water Talk. Okay, so our first question is going to be up.
Okay, so what's in scope for the planning partner RFP?
I can respond to that one. In the notice we put to market, we identified 4 key areas of scope for the planning partner. 3 of those are definitely in scope, and the 4th is something we're looking to explore because it could fit into multiple parts of the overall model. So of the 3 elements that are definitely in scope, the first we've called advisory services. And this is the purchasing of high-level expertise to help us with things like our asset management system and policy and strategy and direction work, our modelling work, and occasional pieces of very high-end technical expertise. The second item of scope was our systems planning component. That covers our regional planning, so where we look to understand the services that we need to provide in whole sub-regions of Sydney Water's operating area, and our system plans, where we look at the individual water, wastewater and stormwater systems to understand the various investments required there, and asset level plans. So once we've understood a system as a whole, how the parts will need to be invested in order to provide services. The third item that's definitely in the planning scope are our feasibility, investigation studies and early design. We've called that concept design. So this is where you will see things like geotechnical studies, environmental assessment, and as I said, that early part of design. So these 3 elements are definitely in scope for the planning partner. The 4th piece that we flagged in our notice to market was around project engineering and technical assurance. So these are the skills that we use to ensure the investments we've decided to make are those that materialise on the ground as they move their way through the detailed design, delivery, construction processes. And as I said, at the moment, we still see multiple parts of our model where those skills could fit. So that's an exploratory piece in terms of our planning partner scope.
Great, thanks Emma.
Okay, so the next question is, how valuable was the industry engagement in contributing to the design of this model?
I can answer that, I think. The short answer has been very valuable. We've started to engage with you back in December through Sydney Water Talk, and we've received some tremendous contribution and participation to our discussion. Back in March, the industry briefing had participants of around 500 participants and representing up to 300 different companies. Your contribution have helped us in developing something like 7 options for the models that we've reviewed ourselves, and then that we've been testing with you, actually with up to 30 organizations in face-to-face meetings and workshops. With that evaluation, that's directly help us in defining, our preferred model that we're talking to you today about.
Going forward, we want to encourage you to continue this contribution and this participation through Sydney Water Talk and through the different steps of this initiative.
Okay.
People have been asking if the video is going to be posted online for later viewing and other questions and answers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to post all of our Q&As and the video that you've just seen online for you to watch at your leisure and you're enjoying your meals this evening. So, but what I do ask you to do is make sure you do log on and register to be able to get that video, and you can share it with friends and family.
So how will this new model ensure Sydney Water's investment is prudent and efficient?
I can probably kick that one off, and Mark might want to chip in around the efficient piece. For me, prudency means investing in the right things at the right time, and efficiency means doing those things right. And I think you'll be able to see in the model we've presented this morning that we have those two clear parts maintained in the overall model. So an independent planning function and the rest of the value chain in our regional delivery consortia. Really importantly, in terms of changes we've made around this scope compared to how we currently work, is we'd really like to expand out the skills that exist in our planning function to make sure that that independent function has skills in things that perhaps it traditionally hasn't. Now that's everything from community insight and customer engagement skills to economic skills, right through to things like you will have seen us mention reliability engineering and other operational and maintenance expertise in that planning function to make sure that it can characterise investments that are optimal. However, you'll also see that our model is one of very strong partnership and that we want to deliver TOTEX outcomes from our customers. So we've defined a model that will bring all parts of the value chain together. So there'll be very strong feedback loops from the regional delivery consortia into the planning function. And the move to having concept design as the point where planning deliberately moves into delivery, we will put joined up teams around that exercise from both the planning function and the regional delivery consortia to make sure that at the point in time we're really clear of what the answer is and how much it will cost us to put that in place. We've applied the best expertise from along our value chain so that our customers can receive strong value. I don't know if you want to comment on the efficiency parts of the regional model.
Yeah, I don't think there's a great deal more. Really, you know, it really is about bringing program management and a programmatic way of delivering to life. So all of the great thoughts, the ideas that has been generated through the planning phase and we're taking through into the design stage is for us to really, in the delivery consortia, working with our construction colleagues and our design colleagues and making sure we get the input from the maintenance and operations teams, that we can really be efficient and we can drive that. It's almost like the machine actually delivers all of our work for us. We've had, you know, fantastic performance that we've seen from our regions to date, and I can just see us, you know, growing even better in terms of how we drive that efficiency as a team. The regional consortia is really going to get the opportunity for working with us as a client, working with our supply chain colleagues, as well as making sure that the customer benefits are really driven through the efficiency of our scheme at the end.
And what are the next steps for the whole model? When will you be back out to market?
So we mentioned about probity being in place for the planning partner stage, and that's true. But looking at the rest of the model, we're still keen on, we've demonstrated to you how we've listened through the early stages over the last few months, putting together the initial stages of our model. And now, what we've presented you in this video today, we still need to stress test the remainder of the shape of that model. How is the actual mechanics of this going to come together? How is it really going to work? So we're totally open to still continue engaging with you going forwards. We do ask that you can, you're able to interact with us now and going forwards on the rest of the model, but we do ask that you use our portal, so Sydney Water Talk is the way to initially engage with us, register your interest and make sure that you do want to continue in this dialogue and coming forwards with us, because we really do want to hear what you have to say through this live market sounding. And that's what we're going to be taking forwards over the next few months, with the intention that we come out with our final RFP in Q1 2019 for the remainder of the delivery consortia part of the model.
And can you provide more details about the shared purchasing function you mentioned?
Sure, I can start with that, and hopefully, Mark, you can complement as well. The shared purchasing function is one of the, I guess, foundation of the model, and its principle is fairly simple. The idea is that we want to pool together not only the expertise and the buying power of Sydney Water, but of its partners as well, the planning partner and the delivery consortia partners. And together, we will put together, we'll develop directories of preferred and approved suppliers for all the goods and services that will be required to be purchased during the capital programs, as well as the whole life cycle of the assets.
So I think it's going to be clear that those that you might have heard about framework agreements, so we're looking to put those type of agreements in place for some of the suppliers, so the pumps, the pipes, these type of materials, to make sure that everyone's using the right standards, the right specifications for the materials we get supplied. When we're looking at some of the services, whether it's coming from specialist consultancies or whether we've got some of the smaller specialist suppliers that we might need throughout our construction program, again, these guys are all going to be working with us on our agreed rates and our agreed frameworks so that we understand that we've got the right quality and the right people that we want to continue working with, and the entire supply chain can get access to that through the shared purchasing function. So I think it's going to be an exciting place for a broad range of suppliers to be able to work with us, small as well as large.
And what's the date of the planning RFP? When will the rest of the model be tendered?
I think Mark answered the question around when will the rest of the model be tendered, which I think you said would be
Q1 2019.
Yeah, exactly, early next year. In terms of the planning RFP, we are targeting getting that to market by the end of this month.
Emma, you mentioned the planning partner you are looking for might involve collectives. Can you elaborate? Do you mean, for example, joint ventures?
Yeah. You've seen Sydney Water before talk about specific arrangements, whether we liked them or not. Whereas this time we've decided, when you look at the scope that's in our planning partner, that there's quite a wide range of skills asked for, and that maybe, although we want a single partner to work with, that maybe we will need multiple firms to arrange themselves in a way that will work for them, and we're happy to look at the various different propositions that people will put to us around what collective might look like. And yes, I do mean, for example, joint venture.
Okay, and could Sydney Water please elaborate on where opportunities within the model would be mutually exclusive, for example, planning and delivery consortia?
Big words, mutually exclusive, but I think if I understand that, that question, there'll be people in the audience wanting to know, if I bid the planning partner and I win that, can I play a role in, for instance, the design part of the delivery consortia? As you will have already heard, we're actually going to market for those two things separately. So whilst you will be welcome, anyone who can meet our selection criteria will be welcome to bid for that planning partner. If you are successful as a planning partner, you will not be able to form part of the delivery consortia. That's my best guess at answering that question.
Totally right. But the fact that you've gone and tried bidding for the planning partner will not preclude you from taking a second bite at the cherry, as it were, to go and be part of the design teams in the regional consortia.
And now that probity is up, how do we get in contact with you? Are we still able to discuss the holistic aspects of the model?
Oh, Mr. Procurement.
Sure. Just to, again, clarify, probity is up with regard to the RFP for the planning partner. And that's, you've had the details of the probity advisors on your screen, and that will be, again, available for you to contact them. So you can contact them now, but in the meantime, I will advise to wait for the RFP to come out, actually, and that will be with all the details about communication. With regard to the holistic model, as Mark mentioned, there will be a number of market sounding activities, and the very first step is for you to use Sydney Water Talk and engage with us through that vehicle there.
Okay, so I think, look, I want to say thanks very much for hanging around, and the difficulties we had with the technical online streaming. We got there in the end, and which delighted with, and we managed to answer a few of your questions. So I think we've only got time for one more question.
And the last question is, as the model evolves, will you be looking at incorporating an innovation and technology partner?
I think that's a terrific question, and yeah, I think there's always going to be a need for us to have innovation and technology involved in this. And we've talked a lot through the I think some of the engineering elements where we're interested in taking a digital engineering approach, and I think it's totally valid that we will be looking to try and get some innovation and technology involved in this.
I don't think we see innovation and technology as something that you can bundle into a single partner. I think we'd be looking to see innovation and technology come through all aspects of the model, from the shared purchasing function to what our delivery consortia can bring, and certainly I need innovation in the planning function, so definitely.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, so as I said before, thank you very much for bearing with us today as we went through our initial briefing with you this morning and took us through the Q&A. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you did find everything that we've managed to talk to you today very useful, and we really are looking forwards to working with you if you're going to be bidding on the planning partner, or in fact want to be engaged in the market sounding as we go forward on the rest of the model. You have the opportunity to join us through Sydney Water Talk to continue the dialogue and the communication, and there will be a full Q&A posted on there. As I say, you can register on there to go and get hold of the video and watch that again at your leisure. But once again, I'd like to thank Xavier and Emma for joining me here today, and all of you that stuck with us on the live stream. So we look forward to speaking to you and working with you soon.